Well, Valentine's Day can be tough on those that may have recently suffered a loss or maybe you're uncoupled. The Mindfulness Center is offering some advice this holiday on how to be your own Valentine and practice a little bit of self-compassion. Joining me is Megan Bayless-Bartley, Director of the Mindfulness Center. And Megan, it's so great to meet you in person.
Yes,
we saw you during our New Year's special, helping us find our Zen. And, and it's one thing to say, I think, getting into the new year, this is what I want to practice. But then when a holiday comes up like Valentine's Day, I think for a lot of people, it provides this weird setback that throws us into, if we've suffered loss, or maybe we're not coupled and we see everything on social media where everybody's in love and it's like, oh.
Right, yes. Well, I think there's a lot of pressure. You know, Valentine's Day puts a lot of pressure on people, whether you are coupled or not coupled, of, you know, doing it perfectly or having the perfect gift or getting the right card or all the different things. And so I think this year, why don't we just celebrate ourselves and be our own perfect Valentine, right? And maybe treat yourself to some nachos at Porch Kitchen or some fun wine at Koi.
You said, you know, practice self-compassion. Like, how can we take those steps? And you just mentioned a couple of little things. Is it just that simple to take a couple of little steps during the day to say, let me do this for me?
Sure. Well, that's something we can do. I like to focus on how we can think about things a little bit differently. So compassion is the blend of kindness and love. So if we think of self-compassion, we're being kind and loving towards ourselves, which, having been a therapist for 20 years, I hear a lot about people having this inner critic, right? This voice in our heads that are saying, oh man, you could have done that better. You know, you should have tried this differently, or you missed that turn. You know, what are you going to do now? And instead, if we just, you know, are a little bit more kind and gentle with ourselves and give ourselves, we can turn down the inner critic and turn up a more compassionate, a more nurturing voice in our heads, so that we have an alternative to that critical voice.
All the negativity on our internal radio.
Yes, exactly.
You know, why is it important to keep practicing that? Not just one day, but to continually like put in the work to do that. Why is that important?
Well, it comes back to neuroscience and how our brains are wired. The more we practice it, the stronger that muscle grows. So because if we've been self-critical for years and years and years, that muscle is really big. And so if we give ourselves a different option by now being more kind and loving and nurturing to ourselves, we have to build that muscle while the other muscle starts to atrophy.
Right. Oh, that's such a good explanation of that. That totally makes sense. What tools do you all offer at the Mindfulness Center to help people kind of get there? Right? Like, because what you're saying, I'm like, I should be writing all this down, right? Because it's one thing that I can't just sit at home and come up with it on my own. Right. You know, like, like how can you help people get there so we can go home and practice it every day?
Well, we're all about accessibility. We want to try to make this accessible to everyone. So we have a free podcast you can find on Spotify or Apple. The SOS podcast is with my co-host, Rob Giltner. And then this Friday, we have a special event. We're creating vision boards. So, you know, envisioning where you want to be at the end of 2023, we put a vision board together to help you get there. We have online courses of, you know, the art of saying no and dealing with difficult people, which is a wonderful way to take care of yourself.
Can you set up and do one just here?
We could.
At the station?
Next month, we could do that.
Just in the workplace, I think, in general. And you mentioned like just the vision board and looking, I feel like, and are you seeing this and hearing this too? That I think after coming through COVID and going back into the workplace or thinking, I don't want to do that, that people are in this in-between place of who am I and what do I want to, what about me? What do I want to do?
Absolutely. We've had a lot of time to be with ourselves at home and with our loved ones and kind of just see like what are our priorities. And so when we prioritize ourselves, it's not selfish, which I know some people think like I'm being selfish, but you know, that's something people use to manipulate when they say you're being selfish because they want you to do what they want you to do. So instead, if you're taking care of yourself, you are inviting the people around you to take care of themselves as well. Yes.
Okay. Look, I have nachos, Megan, and some wine. You can just stay here and we can continue our therapy session.
Absolutely. I'm here for brunch.
Sequoia's going to come on over and everybody will just sit down and just talk. This is wonderful.
Yes.
How else can people connect with you if they want to make an appointment?
Online, mindfulness-center.com. We have a special giveaway for WHAS watchers.
Oh, yay.
Yes, so just mindfulness-center.com. /WHAS. We're going to be giving away some goodies. So
all right, check it out. Megan, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Happy Valentine's Day.
You too.
I hope you enjoy the day. You do something for you.
Of course.
Grab some nachos and some wine.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, if you want to find out a little bit more about that special just for Great Day Live viewers, just begin by going to the main page there, mindfulness-center.com.